Hey guys, how's it going, and welcome back for another strategy spotlight video with the Terminator. Once in a while, I step away from Total War games to have a look at what else is out there, what's being developed that might interest me when released, and do spotlight videos just like this to share my thoughts. I've previously covered the fantastic looking Manor Lords, which I am super excited for, the very promising Knights of Honor 2, and more, but today I'm spotlighting something a bit different, in a genre that's getting a bit more competitive lately. Turn-based strategy gaming is dominated by the Civilization games, and with the recently mixed-reviewed release of Humankind, it stands to continue being the more popular choice in the genre. But there is another. Old World is a new title being produced by veteran developers of the Civ series that I have to say does look quite promising, with brilliant family and diplomatic mechanics, lovely world building, and immersive narrative gameplay. So in this video, I'll be running through the highly anticipated Old World, a game that perhaps has a better chance than Humankind at knocking Civilization off its ivory tower. So let's get right into it. Old World starts off like any other game in the genre. You pick a leader from the selection of 7, from Romulus of Rome to Cyrus of Persia, and you set your world type from randomly generated continents to the Mediterranean. You can also play some scenario campaigns that are a bit more narrative driven. Rise of Carthage is, as the name suggests, a 4-chapter story of Hannibal's conquests in the Punic Wars, and the Barbarian Horde is a scenario where you, as a lone kingdom, have to survive the onslaught of barbarian tribes for as long as you can. Early gameplay is very much built on the same core mechanics of founding your first city and expanding out to settle in other areas, gathering resources both luxurious and common, and of course battling local barbarians. Eventually you meet other kingdoms on the map, and eventually you begin to grow from settlement to a few dozen settlements until borders meet and you have to decide whether to go to war or prosper in peace. Overall, everything is there. You recruit scouts to discover more of the map, you build on your tiles to get farms and quarries and fisheries, and you pick religions and technology types, etc. Everything works together as it should without too much trouble really, and with very subtle differences between it and other games in the genre. But where Humankind failed to innovate effectively and left a very unbalanced gameplay experience for the player, Old World builds on the genre with 3 brilliant expanded features. The first thing that stands out immediately is the dynastic approach to your leader and the overall internal political situation. You get a starting set of characters that you can use in your council, available through 4 major families that you ideally want to have positive relations with. Otherwise, one of them or several of them may get bloodthirsty and backstabby. But there's so much more depth here than first meets the eye. You can marry your leader and produce an heir. When the heir comes of age, you can start to influence him or send him off to explore the world, or to be tutored by a wise character in your council. You can marry off other characters to friendly nations for better relations, and you can even divorce characters you don't want to be with anymore in favor of another lover. Characters can also fulfill certain roles, like become a general of a specific unit, or a governor of a city, or an official ambassador to another faction. Characters also engage your leader in various ways as well, whether they've fallen in love or decided they're defecting to a rival. Maybe your heir decides you're evil and plots to bring you down. All of this leads to decisions, of course, that you have to make based on thousands of scripted events, dynamic events that can happen within the political situation of your faction, but also outside of it, in diplomacy, or in some ruins that you discover, or having settled a new city. And it's all peppered with really cool little mechanics here and there to add flavor. For example, all characters in the game age. The governor of Capua, who really didn't like your leader, may die, giving you room to elect someone who will serve your ambitions. Speaking of ambitions, your leader will have to choose one, like building 8 quarries or defeating 6 units. But if your leader dies while still working towards an ambition, it falls to the heir to complete it. But the best part about all of this is how connected everything is, how every decision you make leads to something down the road you may not have expected. You could, for example, get an event that leads you to praising the leader of another nation and thereby losing favor of his heir. Perhaps unknowingly you pick praising the leader, but he's old and within 6 years he dies of old age, leaving the angry heir to take the throne and take revenge on you by declaring war outright. He has superior armies and technology, a bit of a pickle that actually could have been avoided had you chosen differently in the past. Or perhaps you decide to marry a wise seer, but a few years later were approached by a much more beautiful and powerful character for marriage. By divorcing the seer to be with your newfound lover, the seer strikes a foul omen on your leader, causing him to become gravely ill and die within a year. All of these small decisions lead to consequences out of your control, which leads to more immersive and enjoyable gameplay. In this brilliant way, Old World sets itself apart from Civilization and Humankind because it aims to make each playthrough unique and in varying ways more challenging. That being said, I want to make an honest review of this game as it stands right now, and with that, there are a few areas that the game could still improve on. Technology trees are lacking, plain and simple. There's just not enough there to keep me interested in what's next for the future of my kingdom, and that's currently a big problem for me. I like the way tech choices are given to you when you've completed one. I like that you can steal tech from other factions or find tech in ruins the way you normally can in games in the genre, and as an indie game, you can sort of forgive this shortcoming, but I'm hoping that technology specifically is developed more for the game before release. Another slight negative for me is certain maps are too limited in size to really enjoy it, and the settlement system does not help this either. I played my first campaign as Rome, and I managed to found Capua, Beneventum, Syracuse, Mediolanum, Aquila, and Massalia, but that's all the settlements I could build within this area. That's 7 cities within all of Italy and southern Gaul, which is as ridiculous as it sounds. Also, you can't actually go into Gaul or Spain or Anatolia or other regions on the map. When you pick the Mediterranean map, you're literally limited to land around the Mediterranean. Finally, while it's amazing to see mortal characters with tangible legacies, brilliant city management, and diplomacy systems, the UI just doesn't do a good enough job to convey the vital information clearly. There's a lot going on that makes me feel like I need to sift through all the little traits and bonuses and characteristics in the panels to find exactly what I'm looking for. Overall though, I am really impressed with what Old World has to offer. It's definitely a fresh take on the genre and a well-designed evolution of the 4X experience from Civilization, and you can very clearly see the Civ 4 and 5 developer Christopher Tin's influences and efforts are making this game innovative and exciting. Old World is on Steam to wishlist right now, and I've added a link to the Steam page in the video description below. Hopefully the release date of 2022 is legit and we get our hands on this brilliant game as soon as possible. And that's it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you did, give the video a like and absolutely drop any thoughts or questions in the comment section below. What do you think about Old World so far? Definitely subscribe to the channel for more strategy content, gameplay, and news, especially if you'd like to see more Spotlight videos. And thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.